Hey, ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got the Coco crew here holding it down live. Yours truly, sexiest man on all Everything Wrestling Radio. Boom, boom, here's Second Room, live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, joining me down there in the dirty South, the man who just got done working double shifts, being a bouncer at the strip club, talking about none other than Sammy Sinister. What's up, buddy?
Tired, man. Fucking these holidays is killing me, brother. They're killing me.
I know, man. We are 10 days out from Christmas. As of this recording, we're 10 days out from Christmas, man. Where has the time gone?
Well, man, fucking, I got a 4-year-old now. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Luckily, all my Christmas shopping's fucking done.
Me too. I got my Christmas shopping done this week, as a matter of fact. I think the only thing I got to do now is just go buy some candy and stuff for, stocking stuff.
Yeah, that's all I got to do. And I can get that shit at work. So,
yeah.
But enough about fucking real life boring shit. Let's talk about goddamn professional wrestling. I'm talking about human monster trucks, half-naked men, all greased up and oily, just hurling around the ring.
Yeah, that's what we need to talk about. And particularly, we're going to talk about NXT. So first question I'm going to ask you, Sammy, what do you give the show? Do you give it a win, a loss, or a tie?
I'm going to give it 2 ratings. As for a storytelling device and getting me pumped for next, I'm going to win. As far as the actual matches go, I think I'm going to give it a loss because the matches were not very good. So let's meet in the middle, and I'll call it a tie. Because the matches weren't great.
I'm going to give it a weak tie. I like the opening / main event.
Which was fucking weird.
Yeah, and it was weird, and we'll get into that in just a second, but like the other stuff, it just seemed like it was just thrown together at like the last second. It seemed so half-assed, and I was just like so disappointed by this. I am so glad the other night we opted to watch Lucha Underground and review that rather than what we had been doing in the past is watching NXT. Would review that immediately after it aired, and then we would go back and watch Lucha Underground. But now I'm glad we're flipping that around. Oh, and by the way, if you're a Lucha Underground fan, coming up this Wednesday, we're going to have Chris Joseph. He's the co-producer with Lucha Underground. I don't know how LK did it, but LK managed to get a hold of him, talked him into doing it. He agreed, so he's going to come on. So we're going to review the episode of Lucha Underground, and we'll ask him some questions. We'll even take your questions. So if you're a huge fan of KocoSports.com, and if you're not, share this video with friends and let them know. But we'll have Chris Joseph on with us to talk Lucha Underground. But enough of that. We're going to talk some NXT. The first match we have here is it aired. I think it actually happened this past weekend. It was Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Samoa Joe for the NXT Championship inside a steel cage. This took place in Melbourne, Australia. I actually enjoyed this match, but let me ask you this, Sammy. Did this match seem kind of weird, like they cut like half the match out?
It seemed like it. Either that or just because I wasn't a big fan of this match. It was okay at best, mainly because their other 2 matches have been phenomenal. And it seemed like they were on a bad time limit. And then it was short. It was so – I loved the finish, but it was so short. I feel like there's no way they didn't show us everything. So if they didn't, they cut out like at least a third of that match.
Yeah, I mean, there was like one point where they went to commercial just like, okay, and now Shinsuke Nakamura has got coming up on WWE. And I'm like,
I was like, what the fuck is this?
Because usually if you're going to do that, what they tend to do to save time is what they'll do is they'll do like a cutaway to the crowd, and there'll be like somebody, a bunch of fans losing their mind. It may have that when they did that, it may not, the match itself may not have been taking place. But what they'll do is they'll cut away, and then they cut out whatever they're going to cut out and put it back in. And I guess maybe the reason they did that, and this is just assuming they did, because I mean this was only like a 10-minute match.
It was short. It was way too short.
This was almost short as their match in Japan.
I think it was way shorter than the one in Japan.
Yeah, it may have been, but this is like officially I think it was like just like a 10-minute match. I mean, it took up like almost 20 minutes of programming because it was like okay, let's get this match out of the way. Now, crap, how much time we got left? Okay, let's just shoehorn in all the entire Fatal 4, all the qualifying matches to the Fatal 4-way in.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt.
The match itself, from what they showed, was fine. It showed Samoa Joe is a monster. Shinsuke Nakamura, is the good old fashioned JR would say, the educated feet of Shinsuke Nakamura. They bounce each other off the cage a little bit. Nakamura won with 3 straight Kinshasas.
Which I liked.
At one point, it looked like he was just going to walk out the door, but instead opted to shut the door, turn around, hit the final Kinshasa, get the pin. Joe bleeding a little bit from his forehead. It was a good match, but unfortunately, when you have stuff like this, it tends to water it down because now you start, especially when you do them all back to back to back. I mean, we had
3 title matches in a month, essentially.
Yeah, you had NXT Takeover Toronto, then you had the rematch in Japan, then you had the final, I guess what they're going to call here, the blow off in Melbourne, Australia. It was just, I think it's just too short of a time, and you're comparing and contrasting the matches. But I was glad to see this feud end. Where do you think Samoa Joe goes from here? Do you think he goes Raw? Do you think he goes SmackDown? Where do you think
he needs to go SmackDown, and he needs to show up at the Rumble? Even though, and LK, if you're watching, bear with me. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. At this point in time, because I've said it so many times, if WWE does not do my idea that I had for Samoa Joe, then I'm going to be disappointed however they do it. Like, if it doesn't happen verbatim how I've laid it out, and I've said this shit so many fucking times that there's no point. If you haven't seen me or heard me talk about this, just go back like 3 episodes and eventually you'll see me talking about this and just getting like a fucking full-on erection. But he's got to go SmackDown if he jumps up to the main roster, and because I know they're not going to do it the way I want them to, he needs to show up to the Rumble and just obliterate people and then get knocked out dirty to start a program with somebody immediately.
Yeah, he needs to. He's going to have to make a big impact. I know
he needs to come in and clear the entire ring. I'm talking 8 people in the ring, clear them out.
Yeah, that would be he needs to be coming like something like number 12 or something in the Rumble to make that kind of an impact.
Yeah, and for the first time in a while, in at least 3 or 4 years, I do not know who is going to win the Royal Rumble this year.
Yeah, I've heard some names thrown around.
But I don't Jericho, Reigns, Finn Balor, but we don't know if he's cleared yet. Like there's a lot of mystery around it.
Balor won't be cleared.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be cleared.
One idea I've actually heard tossed around for Samoa Joe is that he may be one of the ones who answers Braun Strowman's call for more competition.
It's close to what, but that would put him on Raw, which is a bad idea, and they need him on SmackDown.
It would be a horrible idea because
I would put him on SmackDown and have him immediately go for AJ Styles. They've got a TNA history together. You could bring up the fact that, like, you robbed me of my first X Division championship. I could have won it, but you stole it from me. You don't call it the first team or the TNA X Division. Just call it. You know what I'm talking about when I say this. And you can build a hell of a program off that, even though I'm still partial to him coming in and beating Brock Lesnar. Just throwing that out there. I think it's clear we're going to get a Goldberg-Brock Lesnar match, not a Samoa Joe-Brock Lesnar match.
Yeah, the sky's the limit, and I thought Nakamura was going to get called up, and maybe they could do something with the route that what they did with Kevin Owens, because when they called up Owens, he was still the NXT champion and he was doing double duty. I could maybe see.
I could see it, but honestly, at this point in time, I'd rather see him stay in NXT.
Yeah, there's
a lot of mystery around the Rumble. A lot of mystery.
I could see. Okay, here's what I could see. I could see Samoa Joe going up into SmackDown, but I could see Nakamura going in to Raw, but after Mania, because you could have him lose his championship to whomever. You've got between now and Mania, you've got enough time to build up a credible opponent or opponents. He could successfully defend in January in San Antonio. Then by the time the Mania comes around, remember they wrestle like the Friday before. It's either going to be Friday. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Friday.
It'll be Friday because Saturday night will be the
that'll be the Hall of Fame. But yeah, I can see him losing that championship on Friday, then making his debut the Monday after Mania.
And that seems to be the formula now is that you bring up a bunch of people the Monday after Mania,
Mhm.
which I'm okay with, but I don't want that to happen to him get lost in the shuffle. If they bring up Shinsuke Nakamura, it has to be a tremendously big deal. They need to keep it as secret as humanly possible.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what I mean. Well, we could think about it. We could speculate.
We got all that.
Yeah,
we'll go directly into this next set of matches, which are all qualifying matches to be in the fatal four-way to determine the number one contender for the NXT title.
Real quick, I should mention that they had a little backstage interview with Peyton Royce and Billy Kay saying that they blame their six-person tag loss on Daria Baronato. Of course, she interrupts and says, you know what? I don't want to be part of your little team, part of your revolution, but one thing I do want to do is hurt one of you next week, and it doesn't matter which one it is, so you two pick. I like that.
It was an okay segment. It was just kind of got lost in the shuffle. But, I mean, it was a decent little segment. I don't know what they're going to do with Dario.
Normally, I wouldn't bother with it, but I know if I don't, somebody's going to be, hey, what did you think about that? And I'm like,
what do you think about the pretty ladies on the TV screen?
Yeah, pretty much. That's how
we love you guys. We don't think about you that way, except sometimes. So the first match we got tonight was Insanity. So specifically, who the hell was Eric Young was going up against one of my personal favorites in NXT right now, which is Ty Dillinger. And I'm so happy he's getting somewhere. The match, though, complete garbage. Yeah, I swear it was less than 3 minutes, which I guess that's what they're trying to tell.
It was. I think I'm at the website I'm looking at here. I'm going back here. They officially clocked it at 1 minute 19 seconds.
Yeah, so it's stupid. Essentially, they got in a fight. Insanity got involved. Disqualification. Give the win to Ty Dillinger, which is good and bad. It's good because I'm glad to see that he's actually can potentially be a contender because he's somebody I still can see the belt on. I don't know if I can see him beating Shinsuke, but I can see the belt being on him. But because Sanity disqualified him, he's not going to win this match, and I'm willing to bet Sanity is going to cost him this match, and he can start a program with Sanity, which is good because that can give him, if they do it right, they can give him a big win over a solidified name to give more credence to him potentially being a being a champion.
I have mixed emotions when it comes to Ty Dillinger. I really like him. I want him to be successful, but on the other hand, I really want him just to go ahead and move up because one of the things that WWE touched on when they they're building up his program with Bobby Roode is he was on the main roster at one point.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
He came up. I think it was Florida Championship. I think it might have been Ohio Valley, then Florida Championship Wrestling. That he got moved up. It was under a different name, of course, on the new ECW that they had. Then he got released. He got picked back up for developmental. He's just been down there forever. I mean, the guy's 35. I think it's, it's like I want him to be successful. I love him in NXT, but I kind of want him to go back up on the main roster. And
I disagree. I want to see him. It's completely acceptable to spend your career in NXT now. I think it's completely 100% viable that you are an NXT star, and that is what you're known for, and I'm completely cool with that. And he's somebody I can see that's homegrown talent that can be the face of their brand and be their champion and have several runs with that title. I don't necessarily want to see him get lost in the shuffle going up to the main roster.
Yeah. And then we go to the match here. These two tied it up. Early, Alexander Wolf tries to interfere. He gets knocked on his ass. Nikki Storm comes in, jumps on Ty Dillinger. It immediately calls for the disqualification. So it was kind of a schmoz there. You advance Dillinger, but you protect Sanity, which was fine. Dillinger cleans house, and then Big Damo comes in.
Who the hell is this hairy fucking son of a bitch?
Okay.
Like goddamn Sasquatch coming out there that has back hair so bad that the fucking crowd chanted, "Shave your back."
I would be chanting cardio. That's what I would be chanting. All right. Sammy, me and you can relate to this because both me and you have been trying to cut some weight this year.
Yep.
And there's times when, when you're going through that, you kind of compare yourself to other people, and one of the things that pops in your mind is professional athletes, and it's not fair. I mean, but the image pops in your mind while you're working out.
Yeah.
And while you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to do all this stuff, and you're like, maybe I could look like, whoever my favorite superstar is, but God, I got to work hard at it. I got to, I'll never be accepted if I do this. And then you said Big Damo come out, and I'm like, we're done here, people.
Yeah,
we're done.
I can do it right now.
If this is what the bar said, I'm good to go. I can take off my shirt, go into Full Sail University right fucking now. Me and Sammy, man, we're going to go in. Sorry, Sammy, go ahead. I just lost you there for a second.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'm back. It's bittersweet for me. I do agree to a point. I like chunky wrestlers that can work, which is one of the reasons I love Kevin Owens so much and why I love Samoa Joe so much. Because they're not huge guys, or they're not small guys by any counts of purposes. This boy big. He real big.
There's nothing wrong with being a little heavy and everything as long as you manage it well. But he wasn't even managing that well. Okay, he was like, okay, if you get anybody else, me, Sammy, anybody else in there, and they go, okay, get in there and take off your shirt. And if we're obviously overweight, pasty white, hairy as fuck.
If you haven't seen this guy in NXT yet, gentlemen, ladies, this motherfucker is hairy. He real hairy. He a fuzzy wuzzy.
Like, I don't think there was any part of his body that was not covered in hair. I mean, his shoulders had hair. His back had hair.
He had Robin Williams hair. Like, it was fucking gross.
Oh, I know. And then not only that, but he's got a saggy gut.
He big boy.
He's got a gut, and his ass crack was hanging out.
Yeah, just throw on a shirt. Just throw on a shirt, and I'll never say another word.
Exactly. I mean, you can do that, but at least see, you can say, well, Kevin Owens is big. Yeah, but Kevin Owens wears a goddamn shirt.
Yeah.
Viscera back in the day wore a shirt. Big Show wears a singlet. Bo Dallas wears a singlet. You cover the fuck up.
Yeah, you fucking cover your weaknesses.
Yeah, exactly. So but hey, if that's where the bar is set, me and Sammy, we're making a trip.
Right now, I'd go there at 27 to be a professional wrestler.
It's like, we're ready to go. We're like, what are you guys doing? You're not athletic looking. You're pasty white. Some of you got body hair.
Look at that guy over there. Just look at him. I'm good to go. And I got tattoos. We're golden.
Oh, good Lord. And then and this is something a critic brought up, and I want to ask you on this one, because the question they brought up is, why would Damo want to join Sanity when he can get everything done by himself when the group all together couldn't do it? Like, they were trying to take care of Ty Dillinger. All three of them combined, Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, Nikki Cross, they couldn't take care of business. And he manages to walk in and take care of business. So why would this guy, who was able to do everything on his own, want to join this group who couldn't?
I don't know. That might be and I get like at the whole logic thing, and I understand completely where you're coming from. Even with me, that might be a little too critical. And a little too getting into, like, you still have to have a willing suspension of disbelief. You can't just, to me, you can't just fucking pick apart every little goddamn thing that happens because you're just going to ruin it for yourself. Sometimes, and this is what kills me about a lot of wrestling fans. And yeah, I'm going to critique people for
Mm-hmm. Sorry about that. Sammy, you're kind of fading out again. LK is actually answering questions over here in the chat room. So if you got some questions, Sammy's going to take care, or not Sammy, LK is going to take care of it. And he actually makes a good point. He says, Big Damo is a paid pro athlete. Just let that sink in.
Yeah. I turned my camera off to see if that helps any, but man, fucking whatever. People, fucking enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
Enjoy. All right, next we get, and this was the first of 4 qualifying matches. Of course, all the winners of this will move on to a singular match, a fatal 4-way match, where the winner of that will become the new #1 contender to the NXT Championship. So that spot 1 is filled by Ty Dillinger. Next, we have No Way Jose taking on Andrade Cien Almas. This is another short match. This ran about 4 minutes long. They kind of danced around a little bit. I do like the heel turn for Almas.
Me too.
I like him as a heel. It seems, and to me, he seems like he's more comfortable in this role.
He definitely is. And even just doing some research on it, he was a big heel in Mexico. So I think he might just be more comfortable there. And I'm really glad he won this match out of the two of them. I was a much bigger Almas. And not that I've actually kind of grown to have some respect for No Way Jose, but I'm much happier that Almas is in there.
Yeah, there's a pretty good spot when Jose takes off the elbow guard. He throws Almas in the air, hits him with a baseball punch. But Almas comes back, stuns Jose with a big boot, hits that hammerlock DDT, gets the win. Hey, way to go. I like the fact that he's turned heel. I just really can't say that much more about him. He's just more comfortable in the ring. His moveset seems to work now. He's not playing to the crowd, not trying to play to the crowd. The crowd, can actually, get behind him in sense of booing him. I love that. And then No Way Jose, I mean, he doesn't lose anything. He's still going to be a little bit of a fan favorite. So I think it was a win-win.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I mean, the crowd's going to dig No Way Jose. And essentially what they're going to do is they're going to get two faces in this four-way match and two heels, and he's your first of two heels.
Then we get to our third match here. We have Roderick Strong taking on Elias Sampson. Sampson getting booed with his guitar playing.
AKA, we knew who was winning this match before they ever announced it.
Mm-hmm.
I could give a fuck about Elias Sampson. And that, to me, is worse than disliking him. Because when you're disliking somebody in wrestling, then despite what anybody wants to complain about, that person is doing their job. And except for, like, Roman Reigns. If that person's a heel and you dislike them, they're doing their job. Well, I don't like him as a person. He's doing his job. Well, he's the you can't be a bad wrestler and then get bad. Like, no, he's doing his job. I just don't give a shit about Elias Sampson at all.
I think there was some good stuff in that. I mean, it was a short match, and I was kind of disappointed because I really felt like these two had more to offer. I think it was just, okay, guys, just
especially Strong.
There was a spot with a tree of woe, and then Sampson going back in there and slamming hits Strong's head on the apron, and them do a running knee to his head, very vicious, which I think fits his character quite well.
Yes.
Strong makes a comeback, drop kicks him, does that gut buster, then hits him with the sick kick. I don't know if they're going to call it the sick kick in NXT, but it's what it was called in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So sick kick, he gets the win. I like this call too, having Roderick Strong in there.
It was definitely the smart recommendation.
Yeah, I'm hoping we see more from Roderick Strong coming up in 2017.
We need to, because this is like the second time that I've seen him since he's jumped over to NXT, and I need to see more of this guy.
Mm-hmm. And then we get the longest of these qualifying matches. You have Oney Lorcan taking on Bobby Roode. It started out with a little bit of a chain wrestling. Now, I think Oney Lorcan, name aside, I think he's going to have to change it if he moves up to the main roster.
I think so.
I think the guy is a good wrestler. I just don't understand why he hasn't really been pushed, why he hasn't really been showcased in NXT. I just don't. I mean, you can't say that he's not a competent wrestler, because Lord knows he is. Bobby Roode, don't get me wrong, he's a good guy. He deserves to be where he's at. He's a good spot. But why isn't Oney Lorcan getting that same kind of rub?
Bobby Roode's the bigger fan, and maybe Oney Lorcan isn't good on the mic. Maybe
I'm not saying against Bobby Roode. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, well, it's probably, if I had to guess, he is just lacking in some of his intangible things.
Mm-hmm.
He's got all the skill in the world, but maybe he's not good on the mic. Maybe he doesn't have a great character. If I'm willing to bet, that's something like that. Once he finds himself and he's a little more of a character, he'll be able to go places.
Yeah, there were some spots where Lorcan was doing some, trying to do some transitions, trying to get some quick pins, which made a lot of sense. He missed a big boot. He hit a blockbuster, but Roode countered with a spine buster, then him with that DDT it's that impaler DDT that Edge used to use back in the day. Yeah. That's what he uses. That's enough to get him the win. So then the field is set. We got Ty Dillinger, Cien Andrade Almas, Roderick Strong, and now Bobby Roode.
To me, it's pretty clear that I'm fairly certain Bobby Roode is going to be the winner of that field.
If I had to put my money on it, I would put my money on Bobby Roode because I just think Nakamura versus Roode.
It's got money written all over it.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna do a Sanity Ty Dillinger feud. Cien and Roderick will probably cost each other the match, and they'll start a feud, which could be really good, which leaves Bobby Roode the clear winner to me.
Mm-hmm. You know, and if it's a single fall, you know what I would do to give? I would try to give Ty Dillinger some more sympathy, like have him hit Almas with like the tiebreaker. He's going for the pin, but Bobby Roode like picks him up, throws him off, throws him outside the ring, and then he pins Almas and he gets the win. Basically, you have Dillinger do all the work, and he just goes in and reaps the benefits. I do finish like that.
Yeah, I would do something similar, but I'm fairly certain Sanity is going to cost him this match in some fashion, which can put sympathy on him as well, because I think we need to get past the Bobby Roode Ty Dillinger feud, and we could save that for later and get back to it because there's a history there, and have him get a significant win over all the members of Sanity.
Yeah, but while a lot of everything here was great on paper, it was great. It just wasn't good in execution. Everything was just so rushed.
Yeah, it was rushed and it was jammed and it was just.
It's like they cut the steel cage match. They had the longest match of these. They had 4 matches back to back to back, and the longest one was 5 minutes.
Yeah, think about that. No, like that's what I said. As a wrestling show, this was pretty piss poor.
Mm-hmm.
As a storytelling show, it did really, really good because the finish was bad.
It was not bad at all.
But I mean, we're also coming off of Lucha Underground yesterday, which was fucking fantastic and did both. Just fucking think about whatever.
I think if they would have had a little bit more planning, this would have been fine, because then you could have spread all 4 of these matches out over 4 weeks, or you could have done 2 in 2 weeks, but give them more time. I would have given them at least 10, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes apiece. Let them go out there and do their thing. Let us care about these people. Instead, it was, okay, guys, we got to find a way to put these 4 guys in this one match. So get out there and make it happen.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so that's going to wrap up NXT. You ready to do some questions from the internet infantry?
Well, let's see what these sons of bitches got to say to us.
All right. First of all, Sassy J's congratulating us on having Krista Joseph. So thank you.
Thank you.
Brantley Cassidy writes, you saw Total Nonstop Deletion, and what did you think of the UK tournament? I'm glad they're got some What Culture Pro Wrestling Progress and ICW stars on it. As far as the UK tournament goes, no, I think it's really good. Right now, England, the UK, that's the hotbed of wrestling. That's kind of like
they're in a golden age for sure.
They're definitely going through like a revolution right now, a genuine revolution in England. That's the hotbed of wrestling. It's kind of like what Philly was back during the ECW era. This was like Florida back during like the 70s. So this is the place to be, and I like the fact that they're pulling I don't know everybody, but I've recognized a few of the names, but I'm hoping it's going to be something like the Cruiserweight Classic, where by the time I get done, it's like I know who these people are, I care about them, and I want to see them sign with WWE. I like the title. There's some people who criticize that United Kingdom Championship belt. I thought it looked pretty cool.
I like the look of the belt, but here's the issue that I have with the overall identity of this whole tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They've got too many goddamn belts as it is. You're just going to flood the fucking market by making another one, unless they literally just make that a United Kingdom title. And that belt physically never fucking leaves those islands. And it stays there, and it can jump between indie scenes, and WWE just has their hand in it and can promote it every once in a while. That's how I would do it, because Raw and SmackDown have too many fucking belts as it is. I don't want to see another one.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. as long as it stays there in the UK, I was kind of thinking maybe it would be something like the winner gets like a trophy or something, and it's like a yearly thing. I thought, okay, that would make sense. Then you have
kind of how I thought the CWC was going to be. If they do that and it's just a once a year, and if you win the tournament, you are the champion for one entire calendar year until the next tournament, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and and I'm just going to bring. Nobody asked me this question, but I'm going to bring it up.
Well, then don't answer it, damn it.
Are you concerned about WWE, holding these tournaments, pulling all these things, because theoretically you're taking people away from all these promotions, and WWE is scooping them up because they're hiring just about anybody they can get their hands on right now.
Not at all. Not at all. And I will give you one name as to why not at all, and how you can absolutely have a phenomenal fucking career and not be in the WWE, and that's Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes has done nothing but independence for almost a year now, and he's one of the biggest superstars in the world. And he's said on multiple occasions that's why one of the reasons that he loves to do it is that people can make not just a living, but can have phenomenally awesome careers and never step foot inside a WWE career or a WWE ring. So I don't fear that at all. Don't fear it at all. For every fucking Jack Gallagher and Zack Sabre Jr. they picked up, there are 10 more guys that are waiting that are going to get that spot and hit the indies hard and running fast.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. And Brantley Cassidy, he's throwing out his pick for the Royal Rumble, or making a prediction. He's thinking Bray Wyatt.
Really? Bray Wyatt? That would be cool, but I don't see it happening.
Like, what I could actually see happening is you could have, and I'm not saying I want them to do this, but there's like several scenarios, one of which, and I don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx it here and actually have this happen, but John Cena.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
I could see him he can make another run for the championship and get 16.
Yeah, that's because he'll eventually break Ric Flair's number. That's who I think is going to win. You know who I want to win? Like, there's a bunch of names floating around right there, and they're all pretty valid. Finn Balor would be great. AJ Styles has already got a belt. No, I'm not going to say James Ellsworth, so don't worry. I want to see.
Want to see who? Sammy cut out again. So these technical difficulties brought to you by KocoSports.com. As soon as he pops back in, I'll let him finish his thought.
Well, eventually, hopefully, I'll fucking pop back in.
Yeah, there you are. You're back in.
I don't know what the fuck the deal is. Me and LK had problems like this like a month or two ago. But I want Luke Harper to win.
Okay. Luke Harper.
I think he's the most underutilized and underappreciated talent on that entire roster. And I've thought so for years now. And I think they finally saw on Tuesday night. They're like, oh, wow, this guy really is that good and gets somebody that they can have a belt on.
Yeah, they would have. I think they might have to do a gimmick change with them, but yeah, I think it can work. But I think all in all, what I would want to see is I want to see somebody new. I want to see somebody new. I want to see somebody grab the brass ring. I want to see somebody make a run. I just, I don't want to see, like the same predictable stuff. I don't want to see Cena. I don't want to see Reigns. I want to see somebody new because roll the dice. Let's go.
Yeah, that's kind of goes my Luke Harper thing. No one would expect it. Mm-hmm. And you could tell a great story with him finally going up to Bray and go, I'm your slave no more. This is my family. And you can do what I say or you can get the hell out.
You can do, yeah, that would work too. Somebody's asking who do we think is going to win the United Kingdom Championship tournament? I don't know yet.
Not a clue. I don't know who all is involved.
I don't know enough about and that's the point, I guess, is we don't know enough about these people to make an accurate prediction. Somebody's already predicting Pete Dunne to win. I don't know enough to make an educated guess. So I want to learn more about these people as the week progresses. Mm-hmm. All right, and it did it again.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
All right, you're back. What were we saying?
I think it's going to be the ghost of Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, there's predictions about who do you think is going to win the Fatal 4-Way. Did you hear about the 4 Indian women signed to NXT last week? Yeah, I've heard about that. He's talking about Kimberly, Heidi Lovelace, Evie, and Nixon Newell.
I don't know who any of them are.
I know who Kimberly is. Princess Kimberly. She was she did it before Sexy Star. She was actually the grand champion in Chikara.
Okay.
And she actually got some attention last year because she, I think it was Beyond Wrestling. She had a match. It was an intergender match between her and a guy named Chris Dickinson. And Dickinson smashed her in the fucking head with a chair, full fucking swing.
Wow.
Gave her like a buckle bomb and like threw her like to the point where they're lucky her momentum stopped because she came close to hitting the post, the ring post with her skull.
Ooh.
I mean, and it was all controlled and stuff, and they were both in on it, but that was something that got them a lot of attention. Heidi Lovelace, I've only heard of her. Same thing with Evie, never have. And Nixon Newell, I've heard. I think she's from overseas. I can't. I mean, it's right off the top of my head. But yeah, I've heard of her. And it's fact. Somebody's correcting me right now. Yeah, she's from What Culture Pro Wrestling. She's absolutely amazing. Okay. Let's see. It's a weekly show and defended on the show wait a minute, the UK Championship is going to be like a weekly show?
I genuinely, if y'all have information, send it to us because I have literally seen jack shit about this tournament other than it exists. I don't like the idea of it being a weekly show. I think that's a terrible idea.
WWE is about to oversaturate their market.
About to? Dude, they got fucking like 5 shows a week. If you count Superstars and Main Event, there's
I think they canceled Main Event or Superstars 1 because they had to make room for 205 Live.
Main Event before SmackDown.
So you're going to have Main Event, Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, NXT, and now you're going to throw in a weekly UK show.
Bad idea.
Then you're going to throw in a women's tournament coming up this spring. Do what? Okay, I think we just lost Sammy again. I don't know what it is. Is it on my end or his end? I don't know.
Because I'm not experiencing any lag on my end at all.
Okay, it might be on my end. I don't know. So let me know who's lagging here. Is it me or him? Anyway, Luke Harper is a beast if they book him like a real star. That's from Gary North. D-Rock says Evie is Kiwi Joshi. Okay.
I have no idea who the fuck that is. I'm fairly certain that
Don't know who that is. Well, I guess we'll have to look it up and find out. The UK show is a weekly show. Triple H and Nigel McGuinness said 205 Live. I don't know if it'll be on Raw or SmackDown though. It'll have to be on the. I guess it'll have to be on the other one then. It'll have to be immediately following Raw because SmackDown you've already got 205 Live immediately following SmackDown. So, if they do Raw, I think 205 Live is filmed either before or after. Well, anyway, they're going to have to put on the other show. Evie is better than Ember Moon. I don't know, but somebody else disagrees. Says Ember Moon is solid, I think.
I think that's who they're going to start grooming to beat. To beat Asuka. But I'm going to have to see a lot fucking more from Ember Moon before I can believe it. I don't mind Ember Moon. I like her, but she ain't ready to take down fucking Asuka yet.
No, she's not. I think maybe they're doing that intentionally because right now Ember Moon is undefeated. Now, barring an injury, I think if they're going to keep them apart, they're going to keep them apart, and they're going to keep building up Ember Moon. Meanwhile, they've got Asuka here on top, and then they're going to put them on a collision course. And when the time's right, and they're going to move Asuka up, boom, make sparks fly.
Sounds about right.
Okay. Oh, and apparently Evie has appeared on NXT before. She was lost in a squash match to Nia Jax. That's according to Gary North.
I mean, I believe it.
We're gonna have to. Well, we're gonna have to look up some stuff on the Googles.
Yep.
All right, I guess that's all the questions here now. See, coming up, there's gonna be a TNA review. Then these other two jokers are gonna do a preview and then a review of WWE Roadblock sometime this weekend. Then we're gonna start all over again with Monday Night Raw. It's going to be a crazy week. We're also going to try to get in our annual Triforce Awards. It's going to be me, LK, and Sammy. We're going to just, we've got a lot of categories up here. Something simple. We got, simple stuff like Wrestler of the Year, Match of the Year, Feud of the Year, TV Show of the Year, Best TV Show. One of my personal favorite categories, I like what we call the WTF Award, which is the career that fell apart. And then we have what we call the Russo Award for like the worst storyline, worst angle, worst match, worst, just things that made you cringe. That's one of my personal favorites. We're going to give that away. We're still trying to get that scheduled, but that will be done before the new year. Fingers crossed. And that's going to do it for us here. So I would like to tell everybody to check us out at KocoSports.com. That's KocoSports.com. It's your home for combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Also, be sure to like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We're cranking out shows all the time. We've got a Raw review in the can. We've got a SmackDown review in the can. We've got a Lucha Underground review in the can, 205 Live review in the can. You can go back and watch all that throughout the week and keep it here because we're constantly coming out with material, and we thank you for your support. Also, if you could go over to WrestlingRadioAwards.com, you can nominate us. Just make sure you nominate Coco Sports for best show and everything.
Greatest fucking show in the world.
Exactly. Just do that. That just gives us a little bit of a hand. Will we win? I don't know because we'd be against a lot of stiff talent. But as they say, like in the daytime Emmy Awards, it's just an honor to be nominated.
Isn't it though? But fuck those other guys. We're better.
There you go. So thanks everybody, and we'll all see you later. So this is Boom and Sammy for the rest of the Coco crew. The boom just went bang, and I am out.